Hey, welcome to the newest episode of the Articulate Ox podcast. I am your host, Soma79. Thank you so much for joining me today. Wow, this episode is really something special. Along with the theme of it being WrestleMania coming up in about a week. I think that's right. Yeah, about a week from when this airs. My guest today is the MachoVerse. This dude, I didn't know what to expect. All I knew of him is what I saw on his Instagram page, which was him going around being the Macho Man in all these places, talking to some famous wrestlers and doing some cool stuff. And when I actually got to meet the man behind the MachoVerse, I was super impressed. He's a very thoughtful, intelligent, really cool person. His story about what the Macho Man means to him and what this character has done for his life is pretty inspirational. And I hope you all enjoy this conversation. So check out the MachoVerse. He's on TikTok and Instagram, and just enjoy. All right, have a great one. Bye. Cool, man. All right, let's get going. This is welcome to the Articulate Ox podcast. I am your host, Soma79. I am super excited for my guest today. We have for another treat for us wrestling fans around WrestleMania weekend coming up next week. We have the MachoVerse.
Oh yeah. Live and direct, happened so fast you can't even talk about it. I got my Slim Jim, check. We got a creamer, check. Got a cup of coffee in the big time. Yeah, check.
Cheers.
A few more tricks up my sleeve, you'll see. Yeah.
Excellent. So, Macho, it's so nice to finally talk to you. I feel like it's been forever since I've having the Macho Man in front of me right now. It's the dream come true. So it's so nice to have a chance to talk to you today.
I'm a hard man to nail down lately, yeah. Especially with WrestleMania coming up soon. Yeah.
Yep. So let's talk a little bit about WrestleMania. What are you most excited about this year for the big event?
Oh yeah, I'm excited about The Rock. Yeah, The Rock is my other favorite wrestler besides Randy Savage. Yeah, and DDP. But we're gonna see The Rock wrestle. Wait a long time. Every year, like The Rock's gonna win the Royal Rumble. The Rock's coming out, and he's never come out. And now we're gonna see The Rock. So that's the main thing I'm excited for. I'm gonna shift into my regular voice now because I can't do that voice forever.
When I can't believe he could. He did it like all the time.
Yeah. Well, his brother said he yelled a lot and smoked a lot of pot.
Oh, okay. All right.
Yeah. I mean, I do the voice at work a lot. I do it. It's a lot easier to do the voice if I'm like talking like this, if I'm not shouting. Once I start shouting, the New York and like my voice comes in and it mixes. It's my own thing, but I'm trying to go for accuracy.
Yeah, you're doing a great job.
Thank you.
I think the videos of yours that really caught my eye were the ones with you and I'm assuming your buddy Dusty.
Yeah, he's the best. That's Mike.
Yeah, and
yeah. Oh, there's a cat. Well, man, curiosity is killing like a cat. You love curiosity, yeah.
So I don't even know where to begin, man. But how long you been doing this for, and what is it about the Macho Man?
Cool. So I've been doing this for almost 2 years now. About 2 years, yeah. Like Brooklyn Comic Con coming up in June will be exactly 2 years of when I like got serious with the cosplay stuff and the Macho Man stuff. Always been a fan. I grew up in Poughkeepsie, New York, where they would have Monday Night Raw every Monday night for a few months at a time. Never went. I was a kid, never asked my parents. Later on, like, we would have taken you, right? Yeah. So Monday Night Raw all the time. Yeah, I grew up with ECW. My heyday for wrestling was mostly 1997 and up. Mm-hmm. Before that, it's like bits and pieces. Yeah. So I would watch WCW and Seventh Heaven at the same time, waiting for the world to change. Yeah. Waiting for Raw to come on. So we'd have that whole hour to make fun of that perfect Camden family and watch WCW Nitro at the same time. Both family programming. Yeah. So I just loved Macho Man's personality. Yeah. The way he dressed, all the mixed matching of the clothing, the shouting, the clever things he would say in the promos. Can I get an ooh yeah? Someone said, ooh yeah. Dig it. Yeah. All that stuff. Even when I'm in a public bathroom, it's not gonna get too weird. And someone's in the stall, before I leave, I go, "Ooh yeah!" and then I slam the door, and then just, what the hell just happened? Oh, Dusty's in the chat. WCW, where the big boys play. Yeah, yeah. So always been a Macho Man fan. Love the promos, the flashiness, how he dresses, how he talks, his style of wrestling. So So I've always been, oh yeah. And basically, I was Macho Man for Halloween back in 2007. I went to Salvation Army. I got a blazer, a used blazer. I stapled streamers to the arms, spray painted a cowboy hat. I painted a beard on my face. It was ridiculous, but it worked. Years later, um, we go to Burning Man. I meet my wife. She's a costume designer. On our first date, she says, "If this works out, I'll make you live age restricted." What does that mean? Okay. Anyway, so my wife goes, "I'll make you your own wrestling gear if this works out." And I was like, "Oh, yeah." So
That
it
was a
worked.
good. That's a good sign that your wife on the first night accepted the fact that wrestling was even in the picture. So
Yes,
I feel like
yes,
you're already feeling pretty
absolutely.
good.
Because I was always going to shows.
Yeah,
I was
that's
going.
not always a given when it comes to
Not
dating.
exactly. I'd go down to Ring of Honor and whatever shows
ROH.
I could.
Yeah,
Exactly.
I'm a
So
I'm a
she
fan. So
Oh, I see it. Yeah, Final Battle used to be in New York every year. I mean, side note, I think AEW should really bring Ring of Honor back, have it go on
yeah,
tour to small venues. It's a foolish move not doing it. It's like,
yeah, we're gonna get what Tony Khan wants us to get, and that's it.
yeah, man, it's a little daunting.
Yes, it
Yeah,
is.
yeah.
Pray for
So
Darby Allin.
yeah. So my wife is a burner. She's been to Burning Man a few times. So we went to Burning Man and she made like a couple of wrestling type costumes. One of them was this giant gold robe, and I wore it with the classic Macho Man sunglasses tanked up. Oh, yeah.
Mhm,
And I'm flowing in the desert. It's awesome. Came back, went to a Halloween party with her, was Macho Man again. And then one day we moved to New York City, and I'm just walking around saying, wow, it'd be cool if for Halloween, instead of Macho Man, I'm Macho Man, right? Where it's
yeah.
like green tea, I got green hair. It's like catchphrases like, I'm the green of the crop. Yeah, the tea always rise to the top. Uh-huh. And you could be Miss T Elizabeth. Yeah. So we did that. She made like a costume for me. I started wearing it to wrestling shows. I ran into Mike Ramundi, I think who's in the chat right now, as Dusty Rhodes. And I'm like, dude, let's get a picture, right? I talked to him and I said, do you do this all the time? He's like, yeah, I go to most shows like this, baby, right? So I start going as Macho Man every show, and I'm always correcting people like, no, it's Macho Man, and I have a green wig. And eventually somebody sees me at Impact sitting front row, and he says, hey, man, Moon Knight just ended. They had the season finale. I want to do a parody of Moon Knight called Macho Knight with you turning into Macho Man instead of the Moon Knight. And I'm like, that's
Oh
a
my
great idea.
God.
So I did that. Yeah, I'm like in the mirror turning into him. Back then, when I was doing the impression, like flexing my neck because a YouTube video said that's how to do it better. I had neck spasms for about 3 months. I was starting to think I had like a real illness. So I've changed it
You
up a
had
bit.
macho fever, man.
Yeah, a little bit of this, a little bit of that. Yeah, what's in it? Yeah, what's in the box? So I saw the pictures that came out from the video, and I'm like, holy shit, man! I do a great Macho Man. These pictures are amazing. So my wife goes, "You want to make you a costume?" I'm like, "Yeah." So we worked with the Madness one. She made the pants. She cut the shirt for me. I got the glasses online, the bandana, like the skull cap. It was pretty bootleg.
Yeah.
But she made the accessories. It looked good. Went to Brooklyn Comic Con, big hit there. And back then I didn't like I was Macho Man fan, but not a super fan like I am now. Now I have like a notepad full of random phrases that I get, responses for everything. But back then it was just like, oh yeah, cream of the crop,
Yeah.
And you can see
There's a big well to pull from of crazy shit the Macho Man has
it is,
said.
man. Like,
It's second only to Ultimate Warrior, but there's probably Ultimate Warrior is
there's
crazier,
so
but Macho
much.
Man is probably more of.
My brain is like work, wife stuff, memories of family, and then it's like just Macho
Yeah.
Man stuff. It's just pulling. It'll happen so fast you can't even talk about it. Lucky person. Yeah. It's like being a human tornado. Yeah. Don't hunt what you can't kill. Yeah. Etc. I got so much before a convention. I always have to like look through speed notes. I'm like, all right, what am I going to say
Yeah.
today? Which I always add one more thing, one new thing each time, and I used to it. Like lately, I've been doing the pinky point instead of this point, and that's a big difference. Yeah, trying to
That
slow down.
is. The
It
pinky
is.
point was a big because I remember
Yeah.
Macho Man. I used to watch Saturday nights. I'm 40. I would turn 45 this month, next month, and so like I
Look,
remember
35.
watching.
Yeah.
I remember watching Saturday Night's Main Event when I was a kid. When I was
Right.
trying to tape Saturday Night Live. I was trying to tape the Saturday Night Live that had the Three Amigos on it, which was Chevy Chase, fucking Steve Martin and Martin Short. And I got Saturday Night's Main Event. I'm like, what the fuck is this? And I was super excited. I think it was Macho Man versus Honky Tonk Man that really sold me on wrestling. And I'm a big Honky fan. I'm old enough.
He's a hunky fan. Yeah, it used to be a different thing back in the day.
Yeah.
I got to meet him. So yeah. Anyway, long story short, I start
I
going
definitely want to
again.
talk about that. If you met Honky Tonk Man, because I'm
Dude, I'm
sure.
all over the place. Just like Savage, I'm all over the place.
Yeah.
So I start getting into the New York cosplay scene. So I'm in that scene with all the Marvel people and anime people and all that. And I'm in the wrestling scene, going to local shows, House of Glory, whatever's around, GCW,
Amazing Red.
going as Macho Man. Yeah, exactly. The sunglasses really help with the confidence, and not giving a shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, Amazing Red. It's actually owned by Master P, believe it or
Oh, is
not.
it? Yeah, I know Brian X. I listened to an
Apparently,
interview.
House of Glory.
I listened
Oh,
to an
you gotta
interview with
make him
Brian
say,
XL today.
Yeah,
Yeah.
make him say, oh yeah, na 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 na.
Yeah.
So I
I
started.
listened to an interview with Brian XL today, so it was
Oh,
top of
nice.
mind.
Yeah, he's the other owner. Very
Yep.
cool. So start doing that, and then I call out. I see Subway Mania. I call out Tim Rivera, who does that, a great guy. And I'm like, how are you gonna have a Subway Rumble without the Macho Man? So he hits me up. We do a live debate where I'm Macho Man. I interrupt his Instagram live. We're going back and forth, jabs at each other. We do a couple other things. We did an Invictus show. We were like the halftime show, Subway Mania. That was weird because it's all wrestlers, real wrestlers backstage. I trained for a few months, but I mean, I'm a comedy wrestler. I'm not even a wrestler. I'm a comedy guy. So we did that, and then we did Subway Mania, which was insane. And I've been just doing Macho Man ever since. As at this point, I had 20 costumes, and now my wife is working on 4. Here's a sneak peek.
That's it.
You know the one where he wears giraffe print and it's yellow?
Yes.
Instead, she like changed it up, and it's like this kind of blueprint, yeah, which is kind of similar to what he wears with the gold when he faces Flair at WrestleMania 8. So we got that, and my wife loves all the obscure ones, but her favorite stuff is doing the mashups because that's where it all began. So when I go to Brooklyn Comic Con or something like that, you had Macho Man, right, with the green tee, green stuff, green of the crop. And then we had Macho Hook, which is Captain Hook in Macho Man, which is awesome. Oh, it's like I tell people it's Macho Man's Halloween costume, right? He's Captain Hook for Halloween. Awesome. And my wife was Ultimate Smee, like Ultimate Warrior, for New York Comic Con. She won't be Miss Elizabeth. She won't be Sherry. She'd rather be like the scary dudes. So whatever. She was Undertaker, Ultimate Smee, and then Rasputin. Then we did the Big Lebowski, the Macho Dude, which is Randy Lebowski.
That's perfect.
Awesome, yeah. So then we have Macho Juice, which is probably my favorite one ever, but I got to put face paint. It's a whole thing. But shout out to ICP. They do it like every day, right?
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Yeah. So here we are now, and I'm going to WrestleMania in 2 weeks.
Oh, nice.
I'm the Macho Man guy on Instagram now, apparently.
Yeah, I know. And you got a lot of followers. It was like around 30,000 last night.
Yeah, I had a year ago. I just hit 3,000 a year ago, maybe.
It's about where I'm at. So is there hope for me to blow up next year? Tell all your people to follow me.
If you're on my TikTok right now, follow all 6 people. That's how it starts. Like 200 people and then 6. Some guy will let somebody share the screen and then he's just staring at the camera. And that's a whole thing. Right? So now my goal is really, I'm like to make people happy. It's fun for me. I'm getting to the gym 6 days a week because you can't be sloppy Macho Man. I mean, you can, but it's just more comments. So now I'm trying to meet wrestlers who were directly involved with Macho Man, whether it was a storyline, a tag team, a feud, a match. So right now, the current holy grail for me is the Wolfpack. In '99, my parents took me to Vegas and we went to Nitro. It was the first Nitro in '99 where they changed the logo, the last logo they had, where it's like that scrunched, like futuristic, pointy one. And I was, stalking wrestlers. I was a kid. It was all right. Calling Ric Flair's hotel room. Hello? Oh, hello. Is this Ric Flair? Who is this? And I hang up. Hi, is this Sting? Because I'm like, Steve Borden, right? Is this Sting? He's like, who is this? And then he hung up. But anyway, we're waiting at the hotel for wrestlers. Macho Man checks in. I was like, oh my God. So I have a picture of me with Macho Man. I'm wearing the red Wolfpack shirt. He signs that. And then on the front, on the back, on the front, it's signed by all these random people. Scott Norton. I was trying to get NWO. Scott Norton, which is cool. Disco Inferno. And someone made a snide comment online and was like, you don't have Disco Inferno's autograph on that Wolfpack shirt? I was like, actually, I do. Yeah. Disco Inferno. And some dude named Vegas Nick who's signing all these kids' shirts and stuff saying, yeah, I'm Disco's new manager, Vegas Nick. I'm debuting on Nitro. Guy never was seen ever.
He probably was still getting paid $250,000 a year.
He probably was. Yeah. Eric Bischoff paid this guy. Yeah. So I met Macho Man. I had this shirt for years in my parents' house upstate, sitting in a drawer, signed by Macho Man. It took me 3 months to figure this out. I'm like, do I want to keep it as Macho and frame it? Or do I get the rest of the Wolfpack? I had Sting coming up, Luger coming up, Nash coming up at conventions. I asked my friends, I asked my wife. Eventually, I'm like, you know what? Let's do it. I got Luger to sign it. Sweetheart, super nice guy. I got Nash to sign it. Nash smirked. He got a kick out of it. Didn't say a single word, but early in the morning, who knows what's going through, you know?
Yeah.
And then I got
I
to
think
meet.
you have to pay for every motion out of Nash. I think he might
Really
charge by the
do, but
word.
people told stories like he's so awesome. I mean, not
I
knocking
think
the
once you get to know him, but he
maybe,
strikes
yeah,
me as
yeah,
a guy that's like,
right,
he comes
right.
from the
When I
Hulk
went up
Hogan
there,
school, brother.
right, I was like, this guy hates me. But then I finally saw the video 2 weeks later, and he was like getting kicked. He was smiling and laughing, and I'm like, okay, cool. So I met Nash. Sting was super cool. I met him as Macho Juice. So I'm like Beetlejuice Macho Man with the face paint and everything. I was like, it's showtime. And he's like, hey, you looking good, Mach. He was cool. Now I've been waiting months and months for Conan. He doesn't do appearances, but we're going to WrestleCon, and I
Sweet.
signed up for the Conan photo op and autograph. So
Awesome.
I'm excited.
Conan really he deserves the resurgence after the speech he gave at WrestleMania. Was it last year? At the Hall of
No, I
Fame.
didn't hear that.
Wasn't it him that did he induct Ray into the Hall of Fame? And
Oh, I think he did.
he gave a
Yeah, I gotta go
kick-ass
back.
speech. Yeah.
Olay. So I'm gonna go up to him and be like, yeah, you like this shirt? Go ahead and feel it. That's enough. So I'm gonna be Wolfpack Macho at WrestleCon on Friday. I'm gonna meet Sting and Conan as Wolfpack Macho. I'm so excited about it. And then I'll be all 5 members. Love Scott Hall, but not an
R.I.P.
official Wolfpack member. He was a member for about 10 minutes before the finger poke would do.
God, yeah.
If you're watching, I'm not wearing a Hulk shirt. It's a Hulk Who shirt. And video pants.
Oh my
So
God.
yeah, like Tito Santana's gonna be there. Sid Vicious is gonna be there. $1 Million Man. And I'm like, yeah, I gotta be all
I
that.
love the $1 Million Man.
Yeah, he did not want to be bothered at Comic Con.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I had the snake on my arm, stuffed animal that was on an armband my wife put together, and it was the exact replica of what Macho Man wore when he got bit by Jake the Snake. Snake
Oh,
didn't know Jake was gonna be there. Two
yeah.
weeks earlier, like Jake the Snake's gonna be there. I'm like, oh my god. So I had my friend film me walking around Comic Con, going like, I'm looking for the guy that ruined my wedding. Where's Jake the Snake? I'm looking for the Snake Man. So it's so crowded on that day that everybody's like walking on the showroom floor super slow. So I start going, out of my way, I got a medical emergency. Yeah, I got a medical emergency. And then I would walk by and grab my arm, and be like, I got bit by a snake. I need medical attention. They would look and just smirk and laugh like this guy.
Yeah.
So I start walking around. I see the autograph tables. I go to Buff Bagwell. I'm like, Buff. I'm looking for Jake. Have you seen him? He's like, and everybody does the Randy impression. It's so funny. It's contagious. He goes, no, Macho, I haven't seen him. Yeah. So I walk by. Steiner has his earbuds in, and I look at him, and he goes, "What's up, buddy?" He's just chill. You can't really expect much from him.
He probably really thought you were a Macho Man. He probably doesn't fucking know.
Maybe. Probably wants to kick my ass. The video with him has 4 million views, and I didn't realize at the time, but the way I edited it, I did a flashback from that where my friend was filming him at another convention a month earlier, and he goes, "Hey, buddy, no video." So people are like, "Oh my god, I can't believe him!" They're debating privacy laws in the comments. Yeah. So, God, Steiner, don't kick my ass.
Oh, that's exactly who.
Yeah. So we get
to,
so I passed $1 Million Man, and he's just sitting there, like he won't even look at anybody. He's like, "I get it. It's long. It's tiring."
He might have got some bad legal news.
Yeah, that's unjustifiably in a position he'd rather not be in. Yeah, if you know what I mean. So then I get to Jake's table. He's not there right now. He's in the bathroom, I guess. And I think it's his wife. But I was like kind of like going crazy. I was like, yeah. I was like, I'm gonna wait for him. Yeah, I'm looking for revenge. I got a snake bite. I need this off me. And then I go, I'll just sit in his chair and wait for him. And she's like, I don't think that's a good idea. And my brain was like, that is not a good idea at all. So I was like, okay, I'm not gonna do that. Then he pops in and he's like, I'm like, Jake, I'm like, you're the guy that ruined my wedding. And he goes, I did you a favor. I go, I need the snake off me though. What's the anecdote? Come on, you gotta have it. And he goes, semen. And I'm like, oh Jesus. My channel is so clean, all my videos, and I'm like, yeah, there's the one thing. And I was like, oh, Seamus. I'm gonna find him.
Yeah.
He was cool.
So speaking, have you ever done improv training, or is this,
I did, yeah. I used to do Upright Citizens Brigade improv classes.
UCB.
Yeah, UCB. Oh yeah. But I wasn't meditating yet. I was
I do that. It's a big thing, yeah.
Yeah, I try to do it every day. I was smoking a lot of weed at the time, and I didn't reach my potential with that. You know what I mean? And then it kind of closed, and I didn't get to do it again. And I was told with sketch writing and improv, I'm having trouble, focusing on one unusual thing. I'm all over the place. But then I started doing this, and it fits my style 100% because Macho Man jumps around, topic to topic,
Yeah.
crazy all over the place. So I finally found what works for my creativity because man, I was writing sketches, I was doing improv, I couldn't nail it down. And then I found this and I'm like, ideas come to me. It's a resurgence.
You
But
seem like
medically,
the happiest person who's ever been on this podcast, which I love. And it's like, because that's the best thing that was occurring to me. You found exactly, it's like you're finding the perfect outlet that's helping you stay motivated
yes.
to be healthy. It's just joy. And it's impossible not to be excited when Macho Man's coming around.
Well, it's true, man. People get so excited. Like, cops will stop me, you know? One day I'm walking to Penn Station to go to a House of Glory show, and I'm walking by, and a cop's sitting there in the car, gets on his loudspeaker, and he goes, cream of the crop, tower of power, too sweet to be sour. And I'm like, man, I wish I had a friend with a video right now.
Oh, God.
Yeah, so they'll stop me. You know those like super racist troll guys in Times Square, like the 12 tribes or whatever?
Yeah.
Shout out to those guys because they love the Macho Man too. One day, I'm walking back from a party. It's nighttime. I got sunglasses on, and this guy starts cutting a promo on me as like Hogan, and I'm like, yeah. And I see his pants with camouflage. I'm like, yeah, looking like the Dudley Boys. You gonna give me the 3D or something? And then I pan my head up, and I see he's wearing the crown, like the gold crown. And I'm like, oh my god, these guys hate everybody, but they love the Macho Man. Yeah. So security guards, crackheads, they love Macho Man. Everybody except like random trolls who look like feet, or like the guy's face looks like a toe online.
Yeah.
So you get a lot of that, but I mean, I get a lot of outpouring of people reaching out, like Macho Man's limo driver and his mailman and all sorts of stuff. And
Wait, Macho Man's limo driver and mailman reached out?
yes, his limo driver, this guy Damian Pace, was all of their limo drivers for like 2 or 3 years.
That's a great wrestling name right there, Damian Pace.
I know. So he'll tell me these like long stories every now and then. It's really cool. He's like, yeah, we used to. I can't even do anyone's voice when I'm telling a story. I'll be like, yeah. Then my principal was like, I'm gonna come back to your classroom next Thursday. Yeah, this is what you gotta fix. And I'm like, damn it. Like I was like, my mom was like, yeah, yeah. You come over for Christmas or what? Everything is Macho Man. I'm teaching my students, and I'm like, yeah. I'll say yeah without the voice, and then when I'm talking to them, I'm doing the point, and I don't realize I'm doing it. My wife's like, "Hey, can you take out the garbage?" And I'm like, yeah. And she'll be like, "This happened." I'm like, "Is that right? Is that right?" And I'm like,
Wasn't Macho Man sort of Macho Man 24/7 too? Like,
I think so.
Maybe there's some sort of I don't know, weird curse that goes along with his character.
It is.
I mean, I bet Jay Lethal wakes up in his sleep doing it.
Oh my God, he's so cool, and he's the one. I got this from him. Is that right? Yeah, is that right? Ever since I met him, I can't stop saying that. Even if I'm not Macho Man, I'm like,
that is something specific to the Jay Lethal Macho Man.
It is.
Think about it.
Yeah, he is so cool. He's like, that guy is awesome.
Yeah, where do you get a chance to meet him?
I met him in New Jersey last August at a convention called Wrestle Bash. DDP was the headliner. Had Eric Bischoff. It was gigantic. That's when I knew like I was doing a really good job because I don't think I have the best impression when it comes to the voice. But I've worked on the mannerism,
the total package.
I got that. I think I got that down to a T mostly.
Yeah.
So I was there with Dusty. We're walking around, and this setup, there's like tables, and wrestlers just walk around, and hang out, and talk to each other and catch up. So we're walking by Bischoff's table, and I'm like, oh yeah, Eric. And he's like, oh my God. He's like, dude, he's like, you're spot on. He's like, you got it down, brother. It's giving me chills. And then he's like, come here, I gotta take a video with you guys. And me, him, and Dusty are taking a selfie video for his Twitter. And he's like, I can't take it anymore. And he just loved it. I ran into Jay Lethal, and the night before I was like, what am I gonna say when I see Jay Lethal? I gotta think of something good. Yeah. So I see him and I go, oh, you must be the other guy that Miss Elizabeth been talking to late at night on the phone. Yeah, I got my eye on you, pal. And he's like, is that right? And we went back and forth for like 5 minutes, just machoing it up. Amazing. And then we had another Macho Man jump in. This guy, Keith, out in the Poconos, who, no disrespect for the Council of Machos, but he's the best one I've met, at least. It's a real thing. He's the best Macho Man I've met. I've had to ask him, like, dude, is that your real face or is that like a mask? He's so good. So it's me, him, and Lethal, and we're like, yeah. And Lethal's like, where's your glasses? And I'm like, oh, we put them on, yeah. Because I'm like so specific in what I wear. I'm like, he doesn't wear the shark teeth glasses when he does the wolf pack. Put those on, and we're like, yeah, posing for the camera, like staring at the video scope. And all of a sudden, who pops in? Earl Hebner steps into the frame and goes, this is the biggest pile of bullshit I've ever seen in my life. And we're like, you better watch him. We're yelling at him, and I'm like, I'll ring the bell. I'm gonna put you in the sharpshooter, yeah. And
Is
Lethal's
this
like,
video online? Like, can I find this? Like,
yeah, it's
immediately?
online. It's online. Yes, I just put a clip of it like this week. Yeah, of just that one little clip. Yeah, that was and it means DDP that day. That's one of the best days of my life.
Yeah, DDP. Let's talk about him because, like,
Okay, let's talk about DDP.
you
Yes.
mentioned
All
that
right.
you were doing some DDP yoga.
Yes.
I bought the DDT yoga DVDs years ago for somebody that never
Whoa.
used them.
I
I'm still
pirated them
using
years
them.
ago, but now I have the app.
I want to get the app, but I'm still using the
Okay.
old DVD.
So
That is one of the best workouts I've ever had.
it
It
is
totally
so
changed
good.
everything.
I started doing that in 2008, on and off.
Yeah,
Yeah,
mine was around that same time too. It was back when it
I
was yoga
downloaded
for
the
real
videos.
guys.
I would do them on vacation all the time, and I would fall off, get back on. I'm not a big running guy, so my cardio. And then during the pandemic, I finally ponied up. Before the pandemic, I went to 2 of his workshops in Jersey. Got to meet him. Awesome guy.
Oh,
Totally
he fills
cool,
the air with. It's like I've never met him, but every
dude.
interview I hear, he just overpowers the interviewer with positivity and excitement.
Positively Page. That's
Yeah,
his book. Yeah.
he is one of those dudes who he could talk you into anything. I
Yeah.
bet.
Yeah, true. Joining a cult of
Yeah.
diamond cutters. So yeah, watching him on TV, he was my other favorite in WCW. Like he was just so badass.
Yeah.
Loved DP, kicking like Instinct, kicking the NWO's ass in the Jersey Triad. So good, man. Love DDP. So I started doing it during the pandemic. We're locked inside. The first place I stopped going to was the gym because I'm like, I don't want to get this COVID stuff. So I started doing DDP yoga. I do the first time. I lose like 20 something pounds. I'm getting in really good shape. And then I do advanced. I have 3 workouts left in the program. My wife goes, you should try using a block. I use a block randomly. I like throw my back out. So I stopped doing that for a while, but then so I started that up again. I was doing it before my lifting. And I lost like 35 pounds.
Yep.
I got down to like 170. Right now I'm like 200. But a lot more muscle. Humble brag, yeah.
Yes,
So I'm back on it now. I've been back on it for a few weeks, but I was off it for a while. Anyway, so I went to Wrestle Bash. Me and Dusty wait in line for DDP. We're like, what's it going to be like? We get to the front of the line. And he's like, oh my God. He's like, get in here. And he's like, Dusty's in there with him. And he's like, I spit on my screen. I got so excited. Oh, that's the cursor. Anyway, he goes, Mach, you're up. Let's go. And you could just tell how excited he is. Yeah. He's like holding us by the shirt like this. And we're posing for a photo. And all of a sudden, bang, he puts Dusty in the diamond cutter. And then he puts me in the diamond cutter. And I kind of freak out. I'm like, whoa, I don't sell it. I didn't expect that. And like, that's an honor. And he goes, all right, that's the only diamond cutters I'm doing today. So he's just, fucking Dusty's in character. I'm in character. And I'm like, yeah, you have a pose for the Hulkster, but you don't got nothing for the Macho Man. Hulk it up. You know what I mean? Yeah. Shoulders out, chest, shoulders back, chest out. He loved that. Then he started following me on Instagram. And I was like, oh my God. Like that and Jake the Snake. Total markout moments, man. I was like coming back from a Halloween party or something, and Jake the Snake. I'm like, oh my God.
There is something. My first famous one was Positive K. Remember, I got a man. What's your man got?
Yeah, I knew that right away.
Yeah.
What's your man got?
One day he commented on a portrait of Lemmy from Motorhead that I did, and then started following me. And I'm like,
Positive K.
Yeah, I'm like, what? And it's like he's still following me. Someday I'm trying to hit him up and get him on the podcast. But
see him at 90s Con. That's awesome. Yeah, DDP Yoga was the first one. I'm like, cool. But it's not DDP. And then he did, he shared video, and I'm like, oh my God. So then we were, messaging a couple of times. So every now and then he'll share something, or the yoga page will, which is awesome. Because first I was like, is DDP ever see my videos? And he's like, hey, he loves them. And I'm like, all right. And then I met him, and I'm like, yeah, I'm the guy for Instagram. So we got to meet him. That was amazing. It got to a point where it was like 5 minutes we're up there, and Mike's like, the mother tip, WCW. And he's like, Dusty, it's time to leave the building. He's like, okay. We walk off. So I just put that clip up as well. Meeting him was amazing. He's on my Mount Rushmore of wrestlers. Yeah. He's my top 3 really, behind Macho Man. And then it's tied with The Rock, both people's champs, but probably
he's a real amazing, inspiring guy.
Yeah.
And it's like his story is great. And I love when Mick Foley described him in his book. He said DDP can use the word fuck 4 times to describe a newborn kitten or something.
Yeah. I mean, I'm at the gym, like in the big, whatever, like workout room, fitness room, and I got him like loud, like yelling at me while people are like doing their like yoga and aerobics. And he's like, yeah, like hook it up,
Hook it up,
like my wife was getting so mad. I used to quote it all the time, but like, Terry just adjusted herself. Well,
Yes.
how do you like that?
Oh my
Yeah,
God, it burns into your head.
it
And
does.
it's
It
like
does.
the doctor. It
Yeah.
is like, you
This
know.
one's a 5 count though. Yeah.
Yes.
Stevie, get me a chair. Hopefully he's not gonna hit me with the damn thing. Yeah, we know it. It could be a soundboard.
It's funny because like I'm just now getting ready back to doing it again because
Yeah.
and like I got the DVDs out and I can feel like the muscle memory come back. I
Oh
mean I
man,
do it
yeah.
like I did it enough so now I'll do it like on my own on a regular day, but I'm going back to the
Right.
routine.
Do you remember the original ones where it's like it was called YRG? And
That's
he's
the ones
like,
I have. I have the
oh,
ones.
that's the one. And what does he say? He's like, yeah, she couldn't do that much before. Isn't that right? She's like, yeah. He's like, you're damn right, it's true.
Yeah.
Yes. I know. Waif was like, okay, hook it up,
Yeah.
That's great.
I was
Yeah,
dating, so when I
excellent
started
program.
doing that for real, I was dating this a yoga and meditation teacher. Or we're like she was living in South Carolina. When we know a few years ago, we started striking up talking, then I was going to see her and she's like, "You're doing what type of yoga?" And I'm like, "Trust me, it's legit." And she's like, "Yeah, right." And I showed it to her. She's like, "This actually
Yes.
is like really
Yes.
legit."
People don't know.
And she was so ready to make fun of me.
I'm gonna do an Instagram live while we continue this
Yeah,
conversation.
go for it, man.
People deserve to see what's going on. All right. Yeah. So meeting DDP was definitely a life highlight. His workout program is amazing. So right now, tomorrow I start up with below the belt for the first time again. So
What's below
I
the belt?
remember doing.
Oh, well, yeah.
You know the one that's an hour long, the diamond cutter, man. I was doing that after a while. It was just crazy. Like you really get used to it though, the muscle memory.
You
And,
feel like once you get one of them really down, you feel invincible. Then you switch it up and you go, "Oh no, I'm not invincible." Like this is
not
fucking.
invincible, yeah. If you just tuned in, we're on a podcast. You can hear what he's saying, hear what I'm saying. Dig it, yeah. Got the creamer right here. Yeah, so meeting DDP was cool. I just came, so I'm meeting a lot of my heroes, which is awesome. I haven't really met any that I was disappointed. I guess I was disappointed a little bit with Nash's lack of response, but he's Nash. I'll see him again. Whatever, it's cool. Smiling, snickering, good enough for me. I was at Big Event this past weekend. Big Event NY, first time going. This was at the Suffolk County Credit Union Arena. I was going for Big Show. Mike was going as Dusty. I got another friend, Dave Arrow, going as Austin. Another guy, Jimmy Dark Prince, going as Undertaker. So we had a couple people who were meeting there. Another guy, Sketch, as The Rock. But I was going for the Giant, which I didn't get to meet. However, the Giant, Big Show was walking back to the autograph booth. He was taking a break. And I go, "Oh, yeah, that's the Giant. I remember him." And then he takes a second. He turns around and goes, "Ha!" And he keeps walking. I had a few cool interactions. Didn't get to meet him. Because, look, I'm costume specific, right? So I got to have, like, the right thing. I was wearing 1988 WWE Macho Man, WWF Macho Man. I want to go there when I'm wearing NWO or WCW. That's how it's got to be for me.
Yeah, I have OCD too. You don't have to explain it to me.
Yeah, I gotta be specific with that. So I didn't get to meet
I don't blame. It's like there is something about when it all comes together. It's just all that beautiful.
And I like calling other wrestlers Macho Man, mistaking them because some Brett Azar looks like Macho Man from he's the Sheik from Young Rock.
Yeah.
I literally thought he was Macho Man for a sec at another convention. Like my brain was like, "Is that Macho Man?" So I saw Elias or Elijah this past weekend, and I was like, "Oh yeah, that's another Macho Man." And he gave me the head nod and said something. Saw Mandy Rose. We went to the same undergrad college. So she was walking back to her booth, like making her entrance. And my friend recorded the second part of it. We had to record my first part separately because he didn't get the whole thing. But I was like, "Oh, yeah, Mandy Rose, I own a college. Yeah, we went to the same school, huh?" She goes, "Yeah." And I go, "Actually, I own a university now. We're university grads. Freak out." And she goes, "I love it." And kept walking. I was like, "Oh, my God." But the most excited, I got to meet Jushin Thunder Liger, which I forgot that I was such a huge fan of his.
Yeah.
That guy is awesome. He wrestled Macho Man in New Japan. I finally got to download the match off YouTube before they took it down another time. So they got to meet, and he was like, "Macho Man, yeah!" I posted it today. He was so excited. The most excited besides DDP and Lethal and Bischoff, anyone I've met yet. And Sonny Ono was there, who also knew Macho Man very well. So that was cool to chop it up with him. That guy's amazing. I used to play as him in the video game. What was it called? Virtual Pro Wrestling. Have you ever played that?
No, I haven't. No.
It was the Japanese version of the THQ games.
Okay, cool. Yeah.
So it was like No Mercy in WrestleMania.
Nice.
Same.
I spent a lot of time. I have the No Mercy right here. I can pull it out. The card.
Yes. So VPW 2 was the same time, and it had like Vader, Stan Hansen, Great Muta, Liger, people like that, Boss Rutan. Awesome. So I play as him. And his theme music is just so badass. I don't speak Japanese. Only did it for the Godzilla video we made last month because I had to like put a Google Translate and kind of learn it for the dub version. But I digress. So I used to run around singing his song. I had no idea what it meant. It could have meant like stupid white boy or whatever.
Yeah.
So yeah, to tell him that, he's like doing the face palm and laughing. So it was cool to meet him. Met Kurt Angle this weekend as well.
I saw that. I'm a huge Kurt Angle fan.
Yeah,
A friend
same.
of mine, him and his kids bumped into Kurt Angle somewhere on vacation, said he couldn't have been nicer, and his kids had the best experience meeting him. And
Yeah.
I love Kurt. I love.
Way I would describe him, super chill, like really
Yeah.
laid back, like laughy kind of guy. I had like no chemistry. Maybe I was starstruck. I had nothing really to say. I was like, yeah, my gold medals are chocolate, and you got the real deal. Like, so people watching, like that was awkward, and I was like, yeah, it kind of was, but his vibe was just so like, I'm chilling. He's like, yeah, man, it's cool, and I'm like, what do
Kurt,
I owe you about it? I'm like, really? Yeah, you're good.
Kurt, like, and I listen to his podcast a lot, and you can tell that he's in a really good place in his life. And it's
That's
like,
good.
it's really, because it's like, we all remember Perk Angle, and it's like, looking back on that now, you're like, Jesus Christ, he looked like Jason Statham, like going to rehab. It was like,
Oh yeah, he did with the hair. Yeah.
yeah,
And
and
that
I
was
was
the
just
meme.
like, yeah, and he looks great now. He's healthy, and it's so great to see. It's
Can you
great
say
to see.
hi to my son and do your homework? Oh yeah, Shallon's finest. Listen to your dad and do your homework, or I'm gonna have to come see ya, and someone's gonna get elbow dropped. Might be your father. Yeah, maybe it is. Yeah, dig it. Cool. I get a lot of
Shallon's
those.
finest, tell him to
You're
protect his
getting
neck.
swole, bro. Said Geek Fire, who does an amazing Arnold impression, huge on Instagram. Sorry, I'm trying to do all
Go
these
for it.
things at once. Yeah, everywhere, everything, all
Got to
at once.
multitask in this day
Gotta
and age.
multitask. Yeah, that's why I gotta meditate.
Yeah.
You know?
So
Happy
do you
birthday,
do?
Jersey George. Oh yeah.
So I picked up on. I've never really done like the full transcendental meditation, but like I used to date a meditation coach, and
Right.
she would direct me through stuff. I fell deep into David Lynch and all of his stuff. We talked
That's
about it.
where I. Yep. Here we go.
I'm a huge Twin Peaks fan.
It's on my list. I saw
Yeah.
Mulholland Drive in a film class in college. Crazy movie, awesome.
Well, I saw Twin Peaks in a film class in college.
Oh, there you go. That's how you get into it. And then I bought Lost Highway.
It's sitting on my coffee table. I love that movie.
Which one? Lost Highway?
Yeah, I bought the
Dude.
Criterion collection. It's not whatever the most recent collection
Yes.
they put out. It's sitting on my coffee table now.
That Robert Blake scene haunted me for years.
The one where he calls himself.
Yeah, where he's
Yes.
like, he's like, you have a phone call, and he's like,
Yeah.
I'm calling you from inside your house, and he's right there, and I'm like, oh my god,
Yeah.
that scared me.
Richard Pryor, like near the end of his life, Henry Rollins, like that movie has
Marilyn Manson, who's canceled
Yes.
now, but
yeah.
for good reason.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was a great movie, and then all of a sudden, for some reason,
Soundtrack's amazing.
Woman just becomes
Yeah.
Giovanni Ribisi, or the other way around. I
Yeah.
forget.
That soundtrack has to me my favorite Smashing Pumpkins song ever. That song, that song, the fucking crunch on that, I could just fucking taste it.
Shout out to my daughter. It's Samara. Yeah, happy birthday or whatever. Oh yeah, damn, it's very popular.
I'll stop saying the F word when you're gonna shout it out to the little kids.
Did I say that?
No, I did.
Oh, okay, yeah, it's all right. Speaking of which, I am a teacher.
Yes.
Cup of coffee and the biggest water.
How does that all? So are your kids? Do kids today know who the Macho Man
I'll
is?
rewind first. When I started at this school, we were trained in TM, Transcendental Meditation.
Okay, yeah.
Because our school had a meditation program, and the kids were trained to do that. And twice a day during the school day, we would have something called quiet time. Legally, that's what you had to call it, maybe. And it'd be 16 minutes at the end of second period, 16 minutes at the end of seventh period, and we would have time to meditate. We would ring a bell. They would get trained in it. It was really useful for them, but super useful for me. Since then, man, I really got my life together. I became organized. With ADHD, like pills weren't cool for me. Yeah, so there it is. I'm trying to get back into it. I went like 3 or 4 years, or maybe 6 years without missing a day, and now I'm kind of like, I do it usually on the Metro North before school, because it helps me react more calmly and think when like I'm dealing with students that might be off task or not doing what they're supposed to be doing. So either way, now I'm a teacher.
It's hard to explain to people the difference that meditation makes, especially
Yeah.
without sounding pretentious, because sometimes I do when I talk about it. But it really makes a huge difference.
I felt like I was someone who just found Christ, being like, meditation changed my life. Yeah. I would like talk about it nonstop, doing it twice a day. So I met my wife like, a year after that. So it really helped me with everything.
And it takes a little bit of discipline up front, and then you just sort of ride with it, and like you just got to stick with it.
I'm not from Staten Island. Someone asked me that random. So I'm a teacher in the Bronx, and my principal is awesome, very supportive. reasonable. I think he sees that I get my job done really well. My philosophy is like, I'm going to do whatever's reasonable, whatever I need to do. So people leave me alone. So I do what I got to do. You know,
I have a similar boss because I have a lot.
yeah,
I'm a rap artist and stuff on the
yeah,
outside, so I have a bunch of
right,
other stuff going on. And she's like,
right.
"Do your job. It's awesome."
Yeah. So when it
Congratulations.
first started, I was coaching baseball and I'd finished the season. So I had the AED defibrillator box that I thought was kind of like a money in the bank briefcase. So I started filming myself walking around school during Regents Week when there's not really any kids. And I'm like, yeah, I'm here to cash in the money in the bank. And the dean has the camera and he's
Yeah.
like, that's a defibrillator. And I'm like, what? Oh, I'm like, I'm going to jumpstart the Hulkster's heart then. Huh. So I was filming videos like that. And I started doing some more. And eventually I said to my principal, I walked by one day and I'm like, hey, the Macho Man videos, is it too much or what? And he's like, no, I love your videos. So I'm like, okay, cool. He's awesome. We had a post evaluation for a lesson. He's like, I can't believe you have haters. Like, why? Who hates what you do? It's awesome. And then there was a time last summer where we did a wrestling segment during like a new metal rock show, kind of like Limp Bizkit, a band
Yeah.
called Big Trash. The lead singer is MTV's like TRL guy, Kevin Kenny.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So we did that, and my wife's like, "Don't hurt yourself." The end, right? I'm like, I'm doing an elbow drop off the stage, right? So arms up, sunny kiss, randomly there. I was like, jump, jump. And I'm like, all right. And my friend's Roman Reigns, he sits up. I'm going jumping as high as I can. I jump as high as I can. I land the elbow. It was a masterpiece. But I missed by that much. Didn't know it at the time. As soon as I stood up, my elbow is dripping blood.
Oh.
Yeah. I get blood on Dusty's yellow boots, which is still there. It's like a battle thing. I get blood on the MC's Britney Spears shirt, which he thought was awesome. I got blood on the guitarist's girlfriend's shoe, which he was okay with as well. So yeah. So long story short, I post a picture of myself at the ER in full Macho Man garb,
Oh,
getting my temperature taken. My principal DMs me. It's in the summer, and he goes, "Is everything okay? I saw a picture of you in the hospital." And I said, "Yes, everything is fine. I got 2 Macho Man stuff, and I could heal up." Because the next day, I'm like feeling it like crazy. After the adrenaline, I was like, I don't feel it. I'm like, but give me an X-ray in case. Next day, I was like, fuck, screw this,
yeah.
right? So I'm like, yes, my wife won't let me do that again, so we are good. Don't worry about it. And the same day, I get a comment from my primary doctor on Instagram, and he's like, well, this is the first time I've heard of a patient going to the ER by Instagram, but
Yeah.
first time for everything. Yeah. So principal supports that I do my job. Students, they don't care. They saw me.
How old are the kids?
Okay, so I teach 9th grade.
Okay.
So between 13 and 15. Every class has at least one wrestling fan that I know of. A lot of them
Yeah.
are like very low key with it. So yesterday, a girl in one of my classes says, "Mister, I saw you on my For You feed," and I'm like, "Oh yeah." She goes, "Yeah, you were like wrestling on the subway." I'm like, "Oh yeah, that's a popular one. You'll see that." And then she was like, "Yeah," and then your live popped up. So that'll happen.
Yeah.
They saw me last year when I was on House of Highlights, which I didn't even know what that was, but I was at AEW. House of Highlights got me on there. Next day, they're like, "Oh my God, you're all over the internet." I'm like, "What, really?" So they don't really care. I don't dwell on it though. If I did, I feel like they would care more. You know, when it's like
Yes. Yeah.
a kid says your first name, you're like, "Don't call me my first name." You know,
Right.
um,
Just gotta
if
let
you
it
don't
go.
care, then they stop. So I'm like, yeah. And some girls like, "Oh my God, you have mad followers. I saw your." I'm like, "Oh, cool, thanks." And some kid at the end of the year last year was like, "I saw your Instagram page. It's really cool." And I was like, "Thank you." So I have a picture of Macho Man and myself in the classroom. I
Yeah.
make a lot of wrestling references that most of them do not get.
Yeah. Yeah.
A test may have a wrong answer that's like John Cena's sweaty armband, for what's the primary source. That was actually a correct answer, secondary source. But yeah, I incorporate wrestling into it. I was Macho Man for the first time on Halloween this year because it was on a Monday. So I did the cream of the crop purple shirt and the jeans and the bandana, and they got a kick out of that. I totally Macho Man a little bit, and then I do this thing where I'm teaching about the Protestant Reformation, how they fixed the church, and I pretend to be like a corrupt priest who's like taking money from people to give absolving their sins. So I was like, I have a guest speaker this week, man. I put a picture of some random priest on my PowerPoint, and I'm like, I'm gonna go get him right here. He's here. I'm like, guys, he's like a cool priest though. He's like young, don't worry about it. And they're like, okay, is this real? And I'm like, yes, real guest speaker. I leave the room, put the glass headband on, and I'm like, oh yeah. I'm like, y'all been sinning, I heard. I'm like, hallelujah. And I do a whole thing, and they're like, that's ridiculous. They got a kick out of it. So I incorporate. I try to keep the two things separate, work and
Yeah.
like, it was Celebrity Day at work, and I'm like, I don't want to just like Macho Man. I'll just be Seth Rogen, which used to get
Yeah. Yeah. It is funny too to think that like Macho Man is like I never had Nitro when I was a kid. I didn't have cable growing
Really?
up, so
Okay.
I never got to watch. I watched when I was a kid when it was on like broadcast television, and then when I got to college my senior year, my roommate had a black box, so I went from like 0 to
Oh
60.
yeah.
Then we had
Channel
everything. But
95. Yeah. Huh.
yeah. Um. So do you ever get a chance to meet Macho again after that one time?
No, just that one time, and that was the show where he had been out for injury, I think, in '99. And at the end, it was like a brawl four-way between like I think Goldberg, Flair, Nash, and Hogan. And then all of a sudden, Sting drops down from the rafters. Sting returns, this is Vegas, and then Macho Man gets on the loudspeaker and goes, "Ooh yeah, the main event for this Sunday at whatever is this, and I'm gonna referee it." And we're like, "Oh my god!" So he recorded it there. He didn't come out. I didn't get to see him wrestle or anything, but I got to meet him the night before the show. But never got to see him again because I took a wrestling break for like 10 years while I was in
Yeah.
college. I didn't go to college for
Everybody
10
needs to take
years.
one or two of those.
Yeah, so I got back into it 2014 Rumble, but never got to see him again. But the madness lives on through Jay Lethal.
Yes. So
Which
what are you who are you most excited to meet at WrestleMania this year? And are you actually
yeah.
going to the event? You going to actual
Yeah, I'm
WrestleMania?
going both nights. I'm going with my friend Dark Loku from Philly, and he cosplays as The Rock. Usually,
Nice.
Rock LA Knight, like everybody. He makes entrance videos, so I'm going with him to the show. I'm staying with Dusty, Mike Ramundi, and our friend Big Lou, who videotapes a lot of our stuff. Mike doesn't have tickets still, so I keep making fun of him. Like, yeah, Mike, where are you gonna watch? What? You're gonna watch from the parking lot? Yeah, you're gonna have the best tailgate.
Closed caption or no, what
Oh,
was
yeah,
it? Closed
yeah,
circuit TV.
close staring into the video scope. Yeah, you alone, Dusty. So I'm going with them. I really wanted to meet Seth Rollins, man. I was about to drop the $200 and do it, but it sold out in seconds because I
Yeah.
figured he's like the closest thing to modern day Macho Man.
Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah.
Is promos, so wanted to do that. I would spend $500 to meet The Rock at least, but he's not doing it. So to meet, oh yeah, so I want to meet Psycho Sid. I wanted to do a 2000 Macho Man cosplay, but I don't have time. I thought about bringing a leather vest to have him wear it, but I'm gonna meet Sid because they were tag partners.
Yeah.
Probably Raven. A lot of WCW guys. I think maybe Tony Schiavone. And random, but Steve Blackman. Just thought he was awesome. Just random because for years, I'm like, where the hell is Steve Blackman?
Yeah.
And he's coming out. So Blackman, Ted DiBiase, Tito Santana. I have a whole list. And I'm also going to start asking the wrestlers if they could just stand there and clap like this for me because I want to do another video of the Slammy Awards. You know, if you only knew
What's he gonna do to you?
Yeah,
we
did
running
one.
out of here so fast.
But we're gonna have another one with other cosplayers. But I also want to have wrestlers do it. So if I can get like Danhausen to do it, and then
I love Danhausen.
I just thought of that. Yeah. Someone said, "Have you met the Hurricane?" I've not met the Hurricane, but he did comment on my cup of coffee lip sync video once. And Frank Caliendo, which is awesome.
Yeah. I met Danhausen once at a signing, and my girlfriend got me a Danhausen cameo for my birthday or Christmas.
That's awesome.
Once. I love
That's
Danhausen.
So cool. Yeah, I met him at Comic-Con when I was Macho Dude.
Yeah.
He didn't do the voice, which I got. He was like, "Oh."
Yeah. And when I met him, he did it in the video, but he didn't do it like, yeah. That might get a little much after a while for him.
We were at Dynamite in January, Mike and I, and we got front row seats somehow. And I had a little too much madness. And I was yelling and shouting, and he was standing across from us in the front row as part of the angle. And I was like, "Love that Danhausen. Ooh, yeah." And he turned around, and I'm like, "Yeah." He's cool. I'd like to meet him again. But yeah, really, the idea I thought of yesterday, gonna have them do this. I'll be vending at WrestleCon. See you there. Woo woo. Yeah, Juggalo. Dig it. Cool. Yes, so that's what I'm looking forward to meeting. Sting as well. I got the Sting photo op and Conan. Conan and Sting are the biggest ones.
Oh yeah, you mentioned that Conan, yeah.
And Sid, yeah. Got to get that Wolfpack shirt signed and then drop it off at the apartment and lock the door. That's it. And by the way, this is my real hair. Most of my videos I'm wearing a wig, but I finally got this long enough and I straightened it for about 5 minutes.
Very nice. It looks great.
Yeah. Thank you. I'm working on it. I have curly hair, so I have to straighten it.
Yeah, I would have curly hair if I grew it out that back when I could, and I'd have to straighten it too if I wanted to look
Yeah, because I'm like, I don't have to straighten it, but it like curls up and stuff. Yeah. So
straightening your hair is a pain in the ass.
Yeah, man, it's a gift and a curse. People are like, I want curly hair. I'm like, no, you don't.
They don't, man. Let me ask you, we talked a little bit about my man Honky Tonk before. What was it like meeting him? Because he's a dude that like you always hear, I don't know, he's a character.
I
Put
haven't
it
met
that
him
way.
yet,
Oh,
but I heard
okay.
that he wasn't very nice.
He's a little, you know. How about you ever met this dude, my man Brutus the Barber Beefcake? He's one of my
I haven't met
favorites.
him yet either.
Yeah,
So that's another one I got to meet. I was about to meet Lanny Poffo last year or
yeah,
2 years ago. All set. Passed away the day before the signing.
yeah. That's
So
rough.
that was a tough one. Yeah.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah,
who else have I met? Mick Foley was really cool.
yeah.
Uh, Foley cut a promo with myself, my friend Jack as Triple H, my friend Gigi as Lita, and Mike as Dusty at Comic Con. Put it on his page. Had us do close up videos of it too. Really super cool.
You never hear a bad word about Mick Foley.
No, never.
No.
Rikishi was awesome too.
Yeah.
Yeah. The only
Um.
people that weren't that cool was ones that I didn't pay money to see that I kind of just try to like walk by and talk to. Some of them were like,
Yeah.
nah.
Yeah, not today, buddy. It's funny, like, you think about how many people would love to have these cool interactions with wrestlers, and
Yeah.
it's never occurred to me that all you have to kind of do, I mean, not like you're saying all you have to do, but you put some effort in, you came up with something, and you're having these
Sure.
experiences that, like, other fans, like, you're kind of like living out a fantasy the fans would have, and it's like, it's crazy how, like, I hope the secret doesn't get out and everybody starts doing this, but I think it's really
Hey
brilliant.
man,
What
more
you're
the
doing.
merrier. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I had no interest in meeting wrestlers, taking pictures of them, autographs, and then I started doing this, and I'm like, wow. I'm like, the first one I think was like Rikishi and Danhausen, and I was like, this is awesome. And at Comic Con, I met Sting and got to meet Flair, which was cool. Flair was like laughing his ass off. That was also this year. It was in the same hour, Sting and Flair, and
Because
like same
people
with
really underestimate how loyal wrestling fans are and how much wrestlers appreciate how loyal. I
and
mentioned the
how
fact
much
that
they hate
John
wrestling.
Cena, yeah, John Cena never turned heel because of his fans. And he could, and
Right, right.
it's like they really appreciate the fans that really care, and that remember them.
You
They
do.
turn
I didn't know
into
how Flair was
legends.
gonna react. And I was Macho Juice, so he was like laughing. I was like, oh, Ric
Yeah.
Flair, going crazy, do my thing.
Yeah.
Um,
Who knows what Flair's up to?
no, his manager wasn't too happy, but
Yeah. Well,
that's all water under the bridge.
let's just hope he doesn't wrestle again. I just heard Mick's gonna do a one last death match.
Cool. Yeah, I heard that too.
I
Oh
don't
boy.
know if they. I don't know if they've announced who he's gonna wrestle yet, but no matter who it is, it's a bad idea.
Yeah, I mean, he was doing DDP yoga for a while too and got in really good shape, I remember.
Yeah, yeah. Like Jericho swears by it too.
Jericho, I'd like to meet. I met him when I was younger. Rob Van Dam was also super cool. Wrestle Bash, the same show.
Yeah.
So I put a picture side by side of me meeting him in '99 and then meeting him in like 2023. Rob was cool. Some wrestlers I think I get starstruck. I don't know what to say to them. But Rob, I was like, oh, I'm talking about all the way to the top. This guy knows what I mean. And he like pretended to be high. He was like, oh.
I don't think he was
Um,
pretending.
no, he was not pretending. Yeah, yeah. Luger was super cool.
I always hear good things about him, that he's
Really
really
good
in a
things
good
about him.
place. You ever thought about going on the Jericho cruise?
Yeah, my friend Nelson, who he's our Lanny Poffo and our Seth Rollins and our X Pac. He's gone to like 3 in a row. Loves it. It's just never during like the teacher vacation.
Oh yeah. What is that scene really like? As I'm always curious. Like,
Dude,
it sounds like fun, but I can't imagine who's. I don't know who's there, and I don't know what
yeah,
it's
I
like.
mean, he sends me videos of dudes like in full costume, like random places of the ship doing like the curve stomp and like doing moves. Like a guy dressed as a ref, like counting a pin. It looks like so much fun.
You
It,
imagine the people who work that cruise who don't know
oh
anything
my
about
god.
wrestling?
And then my friends in the pool, like drinking with Will Ospreay, they're like, "Yeah," and he's
Love
like, "I had no
Osprey.
idea that that was Will Ospreay." Like, he found out like a year later. He's like, "I just thought it was
Oh
some
my,
cool guy in the pool." Yeah, it sounds like fun. As long
yeah,
as people are showering. Yeah,
yeah. It is infectious. And when you start doing it, I feel myself wanting to do
it
it too.
is. Eddie Kingston was doing it too. He was one of the first people I met. I met him at House of Glory, and we were doing the handshake, and we were posing, and he's like, "What are we doing?" And I'm like, "What are we doing?" He's like, "I don't know. What are we doing?" Yeah, and I'm like, "Oh, there it is." Yeah. So like everyone starts doing the Macho Man voice. Do you do any vocal exercises to save your throat from constant Macho Man? No, I don't. I'm interested in doing that. If you know someone that you could recommend, I would love to. What I've been doing is I'm trying to, for you also Tim, I'm trying to like lower the tone. I might get a mic, token like this a little bit easier, and it's more accurate.
Yeah,
But for a while, I was like, my goal, I'm going to shout and be loud, and it doesn't work for me. It doesn't work for me, brother, because I lose my voice in like the second or first day, and it's a
yeah.
real pain.
Yeah, it is. It's like, and like I rap, and it's like you,
Yeah,
especially the older you get, like your
right.
voice isn't it, you got to take care of it. It's
For Comic Con, I had Jake the Snake was the last day of Comic Con, so I'm like, oh my god, my
yeah.
voice is gonna be so gone. It was so gone that I couldn't do my regular voice. All I could do was Macho Man's voice because my vocal cords were stuck like that. I don't even know.
Holy shit.
Yeah, I'm wearing cowboy boots for the first time, and I'm
This is
walking.
gonna end in some sort of Twilight Zone thing. I'm
Yeah,
so
yeah,
nervous that like
yeah.
your life's gonna
I'm
cave
in
in
so
on
much
itself.
pain that I'm grabbing my back. I'm like hurting, and I'm like really walking like Macho Man. Now I sound like him. I'm walking like him. I'm going. I have to go slow because the way I'm walking. I'm like, oh yeah, and I'm like, oh my god, this poor guy must have been always in pain. It was difficult, but I had a little bit left in my voice for to meet Jake the Snake. I'm like, I'm at parties every night, and I'm like, it's loud. I'm trying to talk to people, and I'm like, I can't do this.
At least Jake has a low register though, anyway. So
No.
it's like you can kind of meet him where he's at.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Did you a favor? Yeah. That's when I eventually want to dress up as Jake the Snake.
Yeah.
But it's just hard to grow this beard back. It takes like a month and a half at least.
Yeah. Where do
Sometimes
you
it's hard to stop the madness. Yeah.
Yeah. Where do you stand on the Macho Man rap album? A friend of mine recently sent me a pic. He picked it up on vinyl. I have the CD around here
It's
somewhere.
awesome. I know like half the songs. In college, even when I wasn't watching wrestling, that song came out, and we used to get drunk and be like
Like,
rapping at the
be a
bar.
man, Hulk.
We'd be telling girls we knew, be a man, Melissa. Yeah, be a man. We were always singing that song. I was playing it to my workout mix. I love that song. There's a few that are really
I
good.
have to admit, I on my workout mix is I'm a bad man by John Cena, Bumpy Knuckles, and Trademark. That's a
That's a
fucking
good
good
one.
song, man.
I
It's a
gotta add
good
that. I
song.
gotta add that.
The
Um,
video where they play the A Team was pretty funny too. I think Gary Coleman was in it.
I almost took a sip out of Mean Gene instead of the water. Oh yeah. Oh yeah, your mustache is crooked and you taste funny.
Oh man. So what are your like highest ambitions for this? I mean, I'm guessing you've probably already come further than you probably thought you would the first time you
Yeah,
did this, but
it's
like is it
crazy.
just like see where it goes or
I want to go to. I want to get invited to DDP's house to do DDP yoga.
that really does seem like the um like you know you've made it, you know, because
Yeah,
I'd love to be
yeah.
invited to DDP's house.
Yeah, I mean, I'd love to somehow be featured in some sort of promotion like
Yeah,
AEW, WWE, doing something. I wouldn't quit my job. My pension's too good.
yeah,
Or Slim Jim to like acknowledge me. I worked really hard for that Slim Jim video that I did not win. Um, but the ultimate goal, yeah, I don't know. I'd like to have a website. I'd like to officially get licensed, so I don't have to worry so much. I'm not making any money. I don't have to worry about the state coming after me because I wasn't able to get permission from Lanny Poffo because he passed. That's what I was looking
yeah.
to do, so I don't have to worry. So it's always a gray area for me.
So
Eventually, I'd
what
like.
does that really mean to get licensed? They basically say it's okay that you do this, and if you make any money, kick some
Yeah,
back.
you give 10% to the family, I believe.
Yeah.
So I'd
Because
like to.
I'm guessing Jay Lethal must be doing something like that.
No, he had a lot of these guys have had Lanny Poffo's blessing.
Oh, okay. All right.
Brand
Okay,
Savage,
that
a
makes
lot of
sense.
them, yeah, had his blessing. They were like, "Don't worry about the estate, I got you." I think
Yeah.
allegedly.
Yeah, but
Um,
now obviously that's who knows who I don't know. I don't know. I don't think Macho had any kids. I don't, you know.
nah, I don't think so either. Yeah, yeah. Don't come after me. Yes,
No
tribute.
little Macho Man.
Right. So right now it's just a parody. Parody. I try not to call myself Macho Man too much. It's mostly
Yeah.
MachoVerse, but I'm having fun. People are loving it. I
Yeah.
haven't had any complaints from anybody high up or any lawyering. Knock on wood. But yeah, I'd like to. I'm working on a Patreon. Um,
And you're doing cameo. I had someone on before. I went to college with somebody who's like the top Tom Cruise impersonator in the country. He won
Really?
the Entertainment Tonight had a contest. He started doing it in college, and he looks like me. He goes under not Tom Cruise, and he's like always getting these gigs and stuff, and he's doing a lot of cameos.
And no flack from the actual Tom Cruise or the Church of
Um,
Scientology.
no,
The
he
guy in
did.
the newspaper
I
saying
think
he's an abuser.
I know. I think he worked. I think in the interview, I sort of touched a little bit on the Scientology stuff, and he didn't bite on it. I'm like, I don't think he wants to talk about that at
No,
all,
no,
which
no.
is fine. But he did have one meeting with Tom where he tells a great story on
What?
that about meeting Tom and like how it came together. And I couldn't do it justice, and I won't remember half of it, but he tells a great story. But he's a great guy. He was a child actor. He was on a show called Swan's Crossing with Sarah Michelle Gellar. He was in
Oh, I don't
plays.
know.
He was in he was on like an off Broadway play that Yoko Ono was doing. So he
Okay.
stayed with
I
her
was a
for a
big
while.
Sarah Michelle Gellar mark. Yeah.
Yeah,
Huh.
I think, and her
Oh,
husband also too, Freddie Prinze
big
Jr.,
wrestling
big
fan.
wrestling
I'd
fan.
like to meet him. Yeah. I mean, I want to meet The Rock. I want to meet Stone Cold. I want to be acknowledged. Yeah.
Yes.
But yeah, I guess my goal, yeah, meet The Rock and Stone Cold is a big goal of mine. Um, I don't know, man. I guess it would be cool to do videos with like famous wrestlers that I love and respect.
Yeah.
I don't know what the end goal is. I have no idea. I'd like to have some sort of Subway Mania match against Hogan eventually. So we'll see if that happens. Oh yeah,
It sounds like you're mostly motivated by joy and happiness.
I am.
Which
And
is
also,
sort of the path I do with my art too, where I'm like, I
yeah,
don't care where it's gonna take me, but it's been taking me good places. It's motivated by joy and happiness,
yeah, and
Gratitude.
like I'm in almost the best shape of my life, or healthiest I've ever been. Like I put on muscles. People will comment and stuff. This guy has no muscles. I'm like, that was in September, dude. I work out 6 days a week now. Like,
Yeah.
take a hike.
Joy is underrated. A lot of people
It is.
don't think enough about
Yeah,
joy
yeah.
and how important it
I'm
is.
not making any money off this. So yeah, it is joy, the love. I keep doing this. I'm not snorting cocaine. Yeah, I have like a long nose hair. All right.
What
But
is your Slim Jim intake? Because I've actually never had a Slim Jim in my life.
I haven't had a Slim Jim in I want to say like 15 years. I'm actually a grocery store vegan.
I'm mostly vegetarian too.
Yeah, same. I'll have fish every now and then.
I eat fish, yeah.
Yeah, and sometimes dairy. But I'm not really like buying eggs or anything. But if I'm out on vacation, I'll have like an omelet.
Yeah, I'm allergic to eggs, so I get off easy on that one.
There you go. Yeah, it's just egg. Yeah.
Yeah.
Stock it up. Yeah, what's going on? Yeah, so I have tofu. I eat tofu every single day. So
Yeah.
with lunch, high protein. So that's a bunch of propaganda you're reading about estrogen. Yeah. Uh, shout out to my little cousin, Vegan Heaven. But yeah, I have a plant-based diet mostly, except for sushi every now and then. So I've never had a Slim Jim in a very long time. I would not. They're disgusting. I mean, that's probably why Slim Jim doesn't reach out to me. I did a video for Matt Cardona, advertising the Major Bendy coming out, and I was like, "These don't even snap; they bend." And I threw it over my shoulder and threw the Slim Jim. So I don't know if they saw that and disqualified me from the.
Maybe Matt Cardona. That's another.
Oh yeah, I forgot to mention him. He's awesome too. Matt Cardona. Shout out to him. That guy reinvented himself, man. He is the best heel on the indies. Now he's wrestling Blue Cane. Like, Matt Cardona's awesome.
Okay. It's funny, like you always keep hearing these rumors. Oh, Matt Cardona's going to sign to AEW.
Yeah.
He's going to sign WWE. Chelsea Green's there. She's going to sign. And Mark Cardona's still like, I'm going to keep doing my thing.
Dude, he gets to do his thing. And we got to see him in the Last Match musical. My wife is the costume designer for that.
What is that?
Oh, what's that? They're actually going on tour soon. Tickets are on sale. The Last Match experience is a combo between pro wrestling. You gotta take care of his cat. Yeah.
My cat was trying to get into my backpack, and I don't know what's in there. So.
Pro wrestling, a Broadway musical, and a rock concert.
Ooh. Where's that?
It's starting off in Rochester. It's gonna be at the House of Glory Arena in Jamaica, Queens. It's going all around. So it's going on tour really soon. Mickey James was announced.
Awesome.
Mackenzie Mitchell's in it now. Simon Miller from What Culture? 5 reasons why you should love The Undertaker, that guy. So Bull James, Alpha Jr.
I want to go to this.
So yeah, Matt Cardona was the heel, this guy Alexander Swagger. And then the main babyface was this guy Ramin, who's one of the biggest Broadway stars that there is. He was Phantom of the Opera. He's like super
wow.
good. And I didn't know until my wife told me because she's the big Broadway person. So shout out to Ramin, big wrestling fan. They tore their house off. They had 4 shows so far, and it was like last year, I think. So they're going on tour. It's an awesome experience. Please buy tickets for the Last Match. You will love it.
When is it?
They start going on tour in April. So
Okay.
I think after WrestleMania weekend, it starts picking up.
All right, because I'm in Western Mass, so I'm not far from New York.
I think they're playing small arenas like Ring of Honor would do.
Oh, cool.
It's all like intimate local arenas. Yeah, definitely look it up. It's badass, man. It's such a good story. And it mixes well. Like you have Broadway people wrestling and wrestlers like singing, and it worked out.
Yeah. There's been something too about lately, and I won't hold you up for too long. About how in the past few years, people who you think would never be able to be involved with wrestling have just picked it up, like Logan Paul and Bad Bunny.
Yeah.
It's like there's something now. They found the way to sort of cheat code their way to be
right, and they're doing it well too.
Right.
You know,
Logan Paul's great. And I only know him
Really
from that.
good.
I don't have any Logan Paul baggage from where everybody else hates him from something else. I just know him as a dude who showed up on my screen and started doing crazy stuff.
Right. I was like, who's this YouTuber guy? But yeah, I know him from wrestling. Same with Bad Bunny. I don't know.
Yep.
To
Me
me,
too.
his songs sound like blah, 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 blah,
Yeah,
blah.
I've tried, and I'm like, I can
I'm
see why
not
people like
Latino,
this, but I
but
feel
some
like
of
it's
my
not.
friends, yeah.
Yeah.
All my Puerto Rican friends love him. I just. But guy was an amazing wrestler.
Yeah, dude's hell
That's
does a
he's
hell of a
D'Angelo
Canadian
Williams.
destroyer.
Yeah. So he did great. McCaffrey is another one.
Yeah.
Man, I've had this creamer in my fridge for a very long time. It's probably expired, so I'll never open it.
It is like pretty crazy how it is dairy that just sort of sits out like unrefrigerated a lot.
It
You're
is weird, yeah.
like why does that get a pass? Like what is in
I don't
there?
know. But yeah, I've never heard from Slim Jim. They'll reshare my stuff every once in a while. But it's basically like ICP with Fago, you know, like I'm over here advertising them for free, selling them Slim Jims. People are buying
Yeah.
Slim. People message me and be like, I bought some Slim Jims. I've seen your video, but they want nothing to do with me. Like I listened to Insane Clown Posse interview, and they're like, Fago wants nothing to do with us, you know, and they like buy it and pour it on the crowd and this and that. So it's a similar relationship.
What do they what do they think?
Or what? Yeah.
Does Fago think they're somehow going to piss off their core audience because of that? Because that is their core audience.
They think that they're, according to Violent J, they think they're like a family company.
The only
Fago,
reason I know who Fago is because of that.
What are you, SC Johnson wax now? SC Johnson wax this, dig it.
Oh
yeah.
I'm gonna be in a good mood for a week after this conversation.
I love it. It puts me in. And usually, actually, I wanted to go on tonight. Usually, I take a nap and I'm like, I don't want to go on this podcast. But every time I do, much like meditation, I'm always happy I did it.
Me too. I have the exact same.
Yeah.
You know, it relates to me like when I used to date and do like online datings, and I'd always wait. I'd always get there, wait for the person. The last few minutes, I'd always before they get there, I'm like, I can just leave. Why the fuck am I doing this? This is stupid. Why am I even here? And then you show up, and it's like a normal human interaction. Like, oh, this is what we're supposed to do.
Yeah.
Actually, having conversations.
Right, it works out. I value the meditation. It's amazing, and you can't stop talking about it. I've never once regretted it.
Yeah.
Do you use an app to keep track, or a timer, or what?
Me, I've just kind of I should start mixing up my habit a little bit. I've kind of fallen to like a pattern of how I do it. I have sort of naturally kind of crazy timing where I can kind of just know when it's been 10, 20 minutes, like in some weird way. And so I've kind of just I've trained my brain into a certain rhythm, and now I'm trying to think more about how maybe I can find something more out of it by taking a different approach.
Yeah, I recommend Insight Timer.
Okay, that's not and then add that nap.
Set it. I gotta like get serious. I don't even do the 2 minutes of rest anymore. I'm like, all right, 20 minutes, I'm good to go.
Yeah.
But yeah, it dings in the beginning, and then it dings after 20, and then 2 more minutes, and it dings after the 2 minutes. Yeah. But doing that twice a day, I feel like I need to do it now with all like these ideas popping in my head and content and filming and dressing up as Macho Man and whatnot. So
there's this one 10-minute meditation that I've had that I got on CD like 15, 20 years ago that I still use to this day that works perfectly. And it's like the perfect like thing. And it's the same thing we're talking about DDP. The little things I can hear them coming, but I just it's just become a part of me.
You know the cues. I was gonna say, is it the meditation where people use to summon UFOs?
No.
Okay, all right.
I gotta learn that though.
Yeah, that's a thing apparently.
Well, I live in Western Mass, a hotbed for UFOs.
Oh, geez, Western Mass. Wow. Yeah. My cousin used to live in Adams.
Okay, yeah, that's further west than me.
I used to call it the town that never recovered from a nuclear bomb. Oh, this is Hulkster. This is my Hulkster voodoo doll. Oh, brother.
Oh my God. You a Hulk? Have you met Hulk yet?
No, and I want to. I need to.
He's around his place. I guess the surf shop or whatever he has. He's around there all the time. I'm doing karaoke and stuff. If you go down there and do karaoke with the Hulkster,
I'll do it. I'll meet him once. I think that would be pretty cool. One of our Macho Men in the Council of Macho Men, John Valdez over in Texas, he got to meet him a couple of years ago and has a video. And he's like, "Where's Elizabeth?" He's like, "She's icing up the champagne." And John had the robe from the Mega Powers. He makes my crowns and scepter. Shout out to him. We have a giant group chat of, it's like 14, 15 people on Instagram, and it's all Macho Men.
This is the Council of the Machos?
Council of Machos, yeah.
Wow.
We haven't heard from Brandon in a while, and I thought about adding Kevin Mackley from Young Rock, but we'll see. But this Saturday, we're actually going on a podcast. It's Going Ringside with Scott Johnson, and he's going to have us all on for about 15 minutes. So I think there's about 11 of us that are going to get in gear, and the world's going to run out of beard dye that day. Yeah. I can't handle it. So
I've never been. I can honestly say in my life, I've never been more excited than about wrestling in my life and WrestleMania this year. It's
Yeah,
all
yeah,
full of.
yeah, man.
I bought the two. I don't play video games, but I bought the 2K game this
Same.
year
I
because they
barely played it.
sold me on it, and it's so
I
much
did.
fun.
What did it for me was that press conference they had with The Rock and everybody. I was like,
Yeah,
all right, I'm on
everything
board.
turned around.
Smacked him. He turns heel. He's like, it doesn't matter what you think. I'm like, oh my god, that. Yeah, man, that's what did it. And then I'm traveling in Chile with my wife, and I download the promo where he joins the Bloodline. I'm watching it on like a bus to like northern Chile, and I was like, yes, yes. I'm like, haha, this is awesome. My wife's like, you're okay. I'm like, yeah. The Rock is like just calling the crowd meth heads and whatever. I'm like,
Yeah.
yeah,
It's so hard to explain wrestling to people who don't understand it. But people who do
yeah,
understand it, they just get
yeah.
like there's so many layers to it.
Yeah, I
It's
heard it's a
awesome.
weird stigma too. Like in Hollywood, people are still like, ugh, wrestling. But it's
Yeah.
awesome. My
Tell it to
wife has
Dave
embraced
Batista.
it. Yeah, yeah, exactly. Batista and Cena have done a lot for that, for sure.
Yeah, yeah. I really enjoyed that Ricky Snickety movie.
Was it
I
good?
won't say it was a great movie, but it was really funny, and Cena was the one who held it together from beginning to end. He absolutely held that movie together, and
I gotta see it.
it was good because of him. He was entertaining through the whole way through.
But first, I got to see Twin Peaks. Yeah,
Yeah,
someone else recommended that.
it's amazing, man. You gotta like it's you gotta be patient with it.
Oh yeah, that's what I was gonna say. Slow burn.
Yeah, yeah, and
Yeah,
it gets really weird after. I don't know, I love it. It's crazy. Once you're in, you seem like someone who goes deep in things, so be careful about going too
yeah.
deep into Twin Peaks.
ADHD. We'll do that.
Yeah,
This is
because
one of
Twin
the.
Peaks, the further you go in, the more rewarding it is. And
Yeah.
then I have a Twin Peaks tattoo. It's the first tattoo I ever got.
Oh my God. Wow. I keep meeting this guy with a Macho Man Bendy tattoo on his arm. And he's not the only one. I've met like two people with Macho Man tattoos.
Because
Pretty cool. I'm not
Macho
counting.
didn't have any tattoos, I don't think,
Nah, he
though.
had none. I don't have any. I feel like it'd be tough to do this if I did.
Yeah, yeah,
Uh,
yeah.
Full natural. Oh yeah.
Oh, well. All right, man. Well, I feel like I could talk to you for all night about
Yeah, I
this stuff. And
know. Feel like I knew it all my life,
yeah.
Are you going to WrestleCon or any of those?
I'm not going to WrestleMania this year. I keep thinking maybe last minute. I volunteer. I don't know if you know PW Insider Elite.
Yeah.
I volunteer.
Mike Johnson.
I told Mike
Sure.
Johnson that he said in one of his hotlines that if
Remember
he
when he
can
was
go to
a
more
kid?
things if he has more people covering. So hit him up like, if you want me to cover something, I will. And he said I might send you a stream to cover. So I'll be back home.
That guy really blew up. I remember at the Hammerstein Ballroom ECW tag tournament in like 2000, Mike Johnson. I remember someone was talking, oh yeah, Mike Johnson over here. We were talking to him and he was
Yeah.
just like getting started with that. Good for him.
He got me. I won't tell the full story because he might not want me to, and I don't even know him that well. But he once got me VIP tickets free to the Impact Zone. They were so good. I was literally sitting next to SoCal Val, and it was Hogan's first pay-per-view in TNA, which is
Oh shit.
headlined by Angle versus
Getting
AJ.
to the end, huh?
Yeah, and I was like, and it's yeah. He didn't even know I was a subscriber, so he was such a nice guy. Wow, even without the glasses, you're a good Macho Man.
I don't understand. Yeah, I don't get it. Yeah, well, vessel of madness. Yeah, it's crazy. I don't know why. I think it's because I'm like Jewish Italian, and so is he. It
Oh,
might
there you
be.
go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I got this chat, but no one said anything for a while. Oh yeah. But I was like, this wig. Everyone's like AJ Styles, and I'm like, I gotta grow my hair, and here we are, man. Because it's the way,
Yeah.
and the wig would come off,
Yeah.
and like the bandana would come off, and the wig just looked like that big pink monster from Looney Tunes, with
Yeah.
the middle. But,
Yeah.
it's been great.
Yeah.
Any other
Too.
questions?
Yeah. No, but I hope our paths cross again, man, because this is like I love what you do,
Yeah.
and like you're in the New York area. I'll probably come out to some show at some point, and I'll just keep an eye on your stuff, man.
Yeah, I got to give a shout out to all the other Macho Men. First off, Damo in Japan, New Zealand Macho Man, who does Hogan, Macho Man, and Rambo. Brandon Savage, the OG from Vice, Dark Side of the Ring. I think he's on a Macho break. I haven't heard from him. Chris Beline, who's Creations by Design on Instagram. He makes my sunglasses, my bandanas, some of my shirts. My wife, obviously, above all, Marissa, I love you. She makes most of my gear, if not pretty much all of it, except for some accessories. Out in Arizona, we got Daily Dose of Savage, Chad 1. We got Chad 2, Macho Mids, the weed Macho Man in California. We got Edmonton, Batman, Steve over in Canada. We got Toby, the Macho Mashup King, who you might have seen him as Optimus Prime Macho Man. He's over in Ohio. We got Big Doug down in Florida, over at MegaCon and all that stuff. He's been doing it a while. We got the OG, the first one ever, the original, Peter, who's in Long Island. Peter is so good that they have one of those PWI type magazines back in the 90s, and they put all these wrestlers' faces on it. And instead of Macho Man, they put his face by accident. He's been doing it for so long, like all custom
The
stuff.
ultimate compliment.
The ultimate, yeah. And we got a few more guys in Canada, like Danny Savage up there. He's awesome too. He also has real hair as well. A few others in Canada. Al Ruddick. You see him on TikTok. He's really good. Al is awesome. So we're all going live soon. Oh, and also Blake Cobb, who wore the pink and black lipstick Macho Man from Dragon Con. He makes hats. He's got a giant beard. I think I almost got everybody. If I'm forgetting anybody, I'm sorry. ADHD, and this thing's empty by now. There was no coffee to begin with. Yeah, the greatest trick the Savage ever pulled was convince you that I ate Slim Jims and drank coffee. I don't do either. Yeah. Dig it. A couple goals. I want to meet Dan Soder, and I want to meet Will Sasso. Those are two big ones.
Will Sasso's great.
Yeah. People always tag Dan Soder. I think he has the best Macho Man impression. But he's too like popular to read his Instagram stuff. I get it.
Hey, it's funny how some people become so accessible regardless of where they at, and other people just seem like they're in a black box somewhere.
Or they
Kelly
everybody like comment. Yeah, exactly. But some people like you cannot reach.
Yeah. So, all right, man. I can talk to you all day, and you've absolutely made my day, and I'm full of joy, man. This is amazing.
I dig it, man. If anyone's coming out to Philly in 2 weeks, I'll be at WrestleCon both days. I'll be at Wally Mania on Thursday. I'll be rolling with Dusty the whole time.
Be hard to miss.
Yeah, I can't miss it. I'm going to ECW Reunion Show on Friday, so Friday, Saturday, WrestleCon, WrestleMania both nights. I'm trying to stay awake, so I'm not trying to go to all these parties and drink in the daytime, but we'll see what happens. Yeah. Also, Wrestling Suplex Store is having a pop-up. I don't know how I remember all this stuff, but there it is. Yeah.
Really important stuff, man. Cool. All right.
It is what it is.
It is.
Well, Tim, may the madness be with you. Yeah.